So I asked Wayne to conduct today's sales meeting, and it has a lot to do with what we've been talking about on the used car side and our closing ratio. So Wayne's got some fun stuff planned, so I'm going to turn the time over to him and let you guys enjoy the show.
So I'm excited to talk about this. I think about this, a lot of what we're going to talk about, and I'll bring it up here briefly just so you guys can see it. Pull up my notes here. So the theme of today is listening, confidence, and trust is going to equal more deals. The reason I was trying to think about, Jesse gave me this opportunity to talk, or to figure out what I wanted to talk about, and I've been talking with the managers and Coleman, you know, some of the things that we're seeing. And I love Tommy Boy. I don't know if any of you are familiar with it. If you are, it's an awesome show. But I'm gonna pull up a video, but I want you guys to pay attention to what's happening. So,
Did you say Tomboys?
Tommy Boy.
Tommy Boy.
Such a good show.
It's Tommy from Callahan Auto.
So let's make this bigger. Sorry. You guys hear that okay?
Maybe a little higher.
I can't get any louder.
Yeah, sorry. I'm ready. Hey, does this suit bingo the back? No. Your face does. Okay, check you out. Alright. It's a clip, huh? Are you sure? Alright, now, sale times. Remember, we don't take no shit from anyone. No. We don't take no prisoners. We don't take no for an answer. Oh, yeah. We don't take no for an answer. We don't take no for an answer. We don't take no for an answer. Okie dokie. No, gotcha, thanks. Terrific, thanks for your time. Let me say. Hey.
Well then, I'd just like to add that the spectrometer readout on the nickel-cadmium alloy mix indicates a good rich strobe and fade, decreasing incidence of wear to the pressure plate. If you could just...
Whoa, little fella, you're not speaking my language. What my associate is trying to say is that, our new brake pads are really cool. You're not even gonna believe it. Like, let's say you're driving along the road with your family, and you're driving along, la-di-da, woo, then all of a sudden there's a truck tire in the middle of the road, and you hit the brakes. Whoa, that was close. Now let's see what happens when you're driving with the other guy's brake pads. You're driving along, and all of a sudden the kids are yelling from the backseat, I gotta go to the bathroom, Daddy. Not now, damn it. Truck tire. I can't stop. There's a cliff. And your family's screaming, oh my God, we're alive. No, I can't feel my legs. Here comes the beat wagon. Woo, woo, woo. And the medic gets out and says, oh my God. New guy's in the corner puking his guts out. Because you want to save a couple extra pennies. To me, it doesn't get out. Now.
Okay. So obviously that's pretty funny, right? But what did Tommy Boy do? What were they talking about originally before they went into any of those meetings?
About not taking no for an answer.
About taking no for an answer, right? And what happened?
He's accepted no every time.
Every single time, right? So the reason I bring that up is because I think that, and I'll bring this up here. I'll plug this so you guys can see. Sorry, give me 1 sec. Trying to figure out that. Let's see here. Okay, so. So most of the deals, realistically, aren't about price. They're more about your connection and the trust that you have with the customer. And I looked up, so obviously I used ChatGPT to kind of put all my thoughts together, kind of organize it for me. And It said that if there is one thing that most car salespeople need to improve, it's listening more than talking. Many salespeople focus on selling the car instead of understanding the customer. Top performers do the opposite. Why listening matters. When you truly listen, you learn. Budget limits, real needs, family, commute, lifestyle, business, fears, deal breakers. If you know these, if you don't know these, you're guessing, and your guessing kills deals. So, obviously, everything that was happening there, he took a no every single time, right? And do you guys, and I'm more so, I feel like you guys do a great job at finding the car, but I feel like it may be more so when it comes to working the pencil. And I want you guys' feedback on this. Do you guys sometimes feel, or how do you guys feel when you're presenting the pencil? Do you guys feel nervous? Do some of you feel confident? Kind of give me some feedback here from some of you.
I feel confident with the pencil because I'm pretty good at qualifying and knowing everything I need to, like way back at stage 1, 2, and 3. So I already know that. It's just more about what we can do. I don't know what their initial reaction is going to be based on, like, we start high and then we work down. I don't know, like, it's hard to engage as to whether they're just going to roll over and say yes, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Or whether they're actually going to try and haggle and get something out of us to feel like they've got a deal. That's the only thing that I feel that I have to, like, work on is working out whether I'm dealing with a customer that's prepared to go to a battle,
Yeah.
or whether they're very happy.
Anybody else?
Well, not according to first pencil, but something that I have learned that when you're qualifying, you know, like what you were stating right there, you know, you gotta be listening to what the customer is saying, okay? Because what they're saying and what you might know to be the right way to go may not be the way they want to go. And so just for example, I had a customer yesterday that they were telling me what they were looking for, what they liked, all of this, and they were looking at new versus used. As they were telling me this, I could see that clearly the new was gonna be the best financially for them. But in their mind, the used was. So rather than try to really push them into doing something they didn't want to do, I let them do what they wanted to do, and they ended up buying a used car. And they were excited, they loved the car and everything. So you have to listen really closely and help them. I mean, you try to guide them in the right direction, but ultimately, if they're excited about a certain car, is my opinion, if they're excited about this car and they're set on it, if you can't help them to understand this way is the better, then you gotta go with the car they want, the car they love.
Yeah, exactly. And I appreciate you guys sharing that, just because, like I said, as managers, we've talked, we're always striving to help you guys sell more cars. And we're always trying to find the weak spots and where we feel like that. And I think that, you know, what we've found is sometimes we feel like maybe you guys, some of you are really good at first pencils, maybe others, you know, are a little hesitant and maybe just more of an order taker in the sense of, I'm not gonna call anybody out specifically, but, you know, sometimes they get nervous. Maybe you're nervous of what the customer's gonna tell you or how they're gonna respond. But kind of like, Logan's not in here.
Yeah, I am.
Oh, there you are. The other night, Logan and I did a turn for him, and it was on a used car, actually. And the customer stated that, you know, they, excuse me, that they liked the CX-5 and the CX-50. They were still pretty undecided, you know, as far as what they want. But what they did tell me, just in the few minutes that I was talking to them, they did tell me they want a specific trim. And on a used, it's a little bit harder to find. And I asked them if they had, you know, how many miles a year they drove, and they talked a little bit. They said 10,000 miles a year, and I said, well, have you thought about leasing? Because I knew that at that moment we didn't have love on a car just yet. Does that make sense? And so I put something in their ear, basically, kind of went through a brief review with Logan and the customer about leasing. And those customers end up leaving that night, but what was it they said that they were gonna go do? Do you remember? They're gonna go think about the lease, right? So the whole point is, if you feel like you don't have enough, or you haven't given them, you gotta give the customer something to think about. If you're not giving them something, then you're losing, and odds are you're gonna lose that deal all day long. So, this is just another short episode. There's one more video after this. I'll keep them short. But Chris Farley figures something out here, and I want you to kind of see well, David Spade is gonna point it out to him, and pay attention to the last things that he says about how he's similar to his dad, and what his dad, and I love how he phrases this, but pay attention to this. Let me pull this up here.
Why you?
So, just to give you a little preset,
Till dinner, just got cold stuff and desserts.
they're in a restaurant right now,
I thought I got
and they're got done from sales, and I know that all of us, if it's late at night and we're struggling, and we just don't have any more energy, well, these guys are always trying to get better, which is something that we always strive to do, or we want to try to help you to do. So they're in this restaurant, and she's gonna tell him that they don't have any more chicken wings. All they have is cold stuff. But watch what happens.
Richard, do I have a mark on my face? Really?
Nope. I thought I hit you on the shoulder.
Right here.
Shane. Waitress, could I get that shrimp cocktail I saw in the glass case?
Yeah. And you, what can I get? Jesus, what happened to your face?
I knew it. See, Richard. Oh, chicken wings.
Kitchen's closed until dinner. Just got cold stuff and desserts.
Boy, some chicken wings have really hit the spot. You sure it's closed?
Let me check. Yep, it's closed.
Okay. I'll just have a sugar packet or two. Hey, what's your name?
Helen.
That's nice. You look like a Helen. Helen, we're both in sales. Let me tell you why I suck as a salesman. Let's say I go to some guy's office. Let's say he's even remotely interested in buying something. Well, then I get all excited. I'm like, Jojo, the idiot circus boy with a pretty new pet. The pet is my possible sale. Oh, my pretty little pet.
I'm sure we've all done
I
this.
love you.
Multiple times.
So I stroke it, and I pet it, and I massage it. Yeah, I love it. I love my little naughty pet. You're naughty. And then I take my naughty pet, and I go. Oh! I killed it! I killed my sale! That's when I blow it. That's when people like us have got to forge ahead, Helen. Am I right?
God, you're sick. Tell you what, I'll go turn the fryers back on and throw some wings in for you.
Hey, thanks, Helen. Tell me likey. Tell me what wingy.
Did that board of the head knock something loose?
What are you talking about?
That 180 you just pulled with the waitress. Why can't you sell like that?
I was just having fun. If we didn't get the wings, so what? We still got that meat lover's pizza in the trunk.
Hey, you got the wings because you were relaxed. So you had confidence. And that's what it takes to sell. Confidence. Your dad had that. Why do you always have to deep turd these things?
My dad was smart. I'm not.
Very true. But there's two types of smarts. Book smarts, which waved bye-bye to you long ago, and there's street smart, the ability to read people. And you know how to do that, just like your dad. He was the best at knowing what people wanted to hear and what people needed to hear. That's what selling is all about. In a way, these people are buying you, not just brake pads.
Hey, everybody. It's Tony Rabin.
Okay, so what did he say there, right there at the end, David Spade?
They're buying you, not brake pads.
And brake pad, right? And what did he say that you had to have?
Confidence.
Confidence. But at the same time, what did Chris Farley say? He goes,
How
how'd you pull that 180? What'd you say?
He was having fun.
He was having fun. So it's okay for you guys to, well, I'll pull it up here because I'm gonna forget my notes. So one person that I learned this from, and he's not here anymore, his name's Jordan McInerney. Almost every customer that he was with, he had them laughing all the time. And the guy sold a lot of cars. And I honestly, I never planned on being in sales, and it was only supposed to be a part-time gig, and now it's been 10 years. But kind of like, I felt very similar to Chris Farley. Like, I don't feel like I'm a street smart person, or a book smart, you know, but I think I've got the street smarts. And I took it from a personal aspect is, how do I change my process, my process in making the customer feel comfortable, right? Because if they like you, they're gonna wanna buy from you, right? And so I changed it up, and instead of making it so transactional, because I feel like a lot of people are used to that. And the numbers are great, but what really sells the deal is what? When they drive it, right? And if they like it enough, sometimes they'll bump up their budget if they love it enough. And so one thing that I always did is I always told people today, look, I'm new to this job. It's my first time doing it. So I'm going to help you the way I want to be helped, and treat you the way that I want to be treated. It's okay to be real with people. They will love that. Each of you have your own styles of selling, but my recommendation would be pick off each other's brains as far as maybe do role playing when you guys are slow, and I don't even like that term. When you feel like you don't have anything to do, role play, because if you role play with each other and pick off of each other's ideas of what you do good or what you don't, then you guys can help each other. But by the time a customer walks in, you guys are already in that mindset. You'll be ready for that customer. This is another quick video. Am I going over on time?
You're okay.
So on here, so this is going to be one more video. So this is now Chris Farley's actually applying what he's learned. So I want you to pay really close attention and see what happens here. Let's see. Okay, just to give you a little preset. So they're after dinner, they're going back down the road. The whole point of this show is he's trying to save the company. His dad just passed away, so he's trying to go out and sell brake pads for his dad's company, so it doesn't go under. And this is one of the game changers for him.
I like your prices. There's a problem. There's no guarantee on the box. Heck, if something breaks down, you can call me, even if I'm home watching TV.
Callahan has guaranteed every part sold since 1925.
Maybe so, but it's not on the box. It should always be on the box, comforting you, calling out, I'm good, I'll never let you down, but if I do, I'm going to make things all better.
Our brake pads are made with a non-corrosive polyplate.
Son, if you're not talking about a guarantee, skip it. My customers need to see that little label looking them right in the eye. Hey, you can get a good look at your butcher. What? Chicken wings. All right, you want to talk about guarantees then, fellas? You just ran out of time.
You guys ever felt like that? Customer wants to leave right away.
Let's think about this for a sec, Ted. Why would somebody put a guarantee on a box? Very interesting. Go on, I'm listening. Here's the way I see it, Ted. Guy puts a fancy guarantee in a box because he wants you to feel all warm and toasty inside. Yeah, makes a man feel good. Of course it does. Why shouldn't it? You figure you put that little box under your pillow at night, the guarantee fairy might come by and leave a quarter. Am I right, Ted? What's your point? The point is, how do you know the fairy isn't a crazy glue sniffer? Build model airplane, says the little fairy. Well, we're not buying it. He sneaks into your house once, that's all it takes. Next thing you know, there's money missing off the dresser and your daughter's knocked up. I've seen it 100 times. But why do they put a guarantee on the box then? Because they know all they sold you was a guaranteed piece of shit. That's all it is, isn't it? Hey, if you want me to take a dump in a box and mark it guaranteed, I will. I got spare time. But for now, for your customer's sake, for your daughter's sake, you might want to think about buying a quality product from me. Okay, I'll buy from you. Oh, that's what?
Pretty awesome, huh?
I like your line.
Oh, sorry.
I like your price.
So, what did you guys pick up from that?
I'm gonna reference the
Shit in
daughter
the
being
box.
knocked up every time.
What's that?
I said I'm gonna reference the daughter being knocked up every time.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, you get that.
Well, sir, you can ignore our clear shield, but I have a problem with that because it sounds like if one of these paint chips flies off, it could fly to your daughter and knock her up. Do you want that happening?
Hyundai has a 100,000-mile warranty.
I
And-
used to, I used to use this with Hyundai back before we had a 1,000,000-mile warranty. I would reference this clip, and it was pretty effective actually. But I think one of the things that you can see right off the bat, and he's done it in both of the videos that Wayne's shown. He called him by name, right? You look like a Helen, but he asked for her name, but he said Ted. After the guy told him, "You got no time, you're done." But he was confident and he approached him, and next thing you know, because of the way he approached him, he said, "Okay, I'm listening." You know, after time was up. So I thought that was good.
Yeah, and doesn't David Spade, he talks, he's trying to talk about the actual product. And the guy goes, "You're not talking my language." Do you feel like maybe sometimes we talk too much about the accessories on the car or too many components on the car when we're just kind of drowning the customer and we're not focusing on their hot buttons? Does that make sense? So I was trying to figure out how to, because I understand that being scared is normal. And what I love about this job is there's always something to learn. There's always something to get better at. We're always perfecting our craft. And it's one of the few jobs that you do that. You're constantly striving to get better. You know, unless you're in an hourly job in accounting and you do the same numbers, it's going to be the same all the time. There's nothing to move up in. And that's what I love about the sell side. And so I was trying to think, how to reach out to you guys, what's going to make a difference for you, and what's going to change it for you in regards to really striving for these customers. So the only thing I could think of, and I'd love to pick your brains and kind of see what you guys think, but I think about if I was trying to, and actually this happened, anytime I had family or really close friends that were coming in, one of my good friends is Zach Bartholomew, that comes here every now and then. They've leased 3 or 4 cars from me now. But when I was with Zach, I already, and obviously you want to do this beforehand, make sure you have all your knowledge with the Mazdas. And but when he came in, I treated him, he was my best friend, so I could talk to him like it was nothing, right? Or, like we talk every day, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But then when it came down to the numbers, I could tell from myself when I talked to him, I was a lot more confident and say, "Look, dude, I understand that you want to be at 36 months, but you're telling me your payment needs to be here. Ideally, 60 months would be the ideal situation for you. If you only do this much down, you can make this, and you're not stuck in this loan, so you can refinance in a year or so." But just talking to him as a friend helped me build more confidence, and they trust you, they believe you, and you get a lot further. And that's what I like what Chris Farley did, is he kind of stepped out of the box and tried to think, how do I make this a more realistic? Nate, our finance manager, was always telling me, paint a picture for the customer, for whatever it is. And so if the customer's not giving you much, like, yep, this is just too much, don't just take that and go back to the desk and say, "I can't figure it out." What I'm trying to show you is you need to pry a little bit. If they're your family or your friend, what would you ask? Well, is it the payment? Is it the money down? Is it the term? Is it the car?
That's all we're trying to get you to do is ask more questions, because one, that's going to build trust and rapport with you and the customer, and it's going to save you more money, because the less times you come up to the desk and you can work everything with the customer on that first pencil, you guys are going to make a lot more money. I promise you will, because I never understood this until later on, but one of our sales managers, Ron, told me, he said, every time you come up to the desk, you lose credibility. I'm like, whatever, my customers trust me, but I didn't realize I was costing myself money as well as the dealership, that I had to go back. So I feel like sometimes, and I've heard a few people do this, we'll catch ourselves like, we know the answer, but we tell the customer, you know what, let me go check. You don't have to go check. If you know the answer, just tell them right then and there. That would be my biggest thing. Let's see. So I have a goal for you. My goal for you is ask the tough questions before coming back to the desk to work a pencil. So and I think that maybe we should, as managers, we can, I mean, you guys do, we can do whatever we decide, but I think instead of, or on top of the qualifying questions, when we're working that first pencil, if we can see that there's nothing on there and you guys can't tell us what they're actually looking for, then we need to do more trainings and do more role playing, and I'm happy to help do that. Just because, again, it's nothing against you guys, we're trying to help you make more money, right? But I promise you, if you, from the get-go, make a friend and treat them like your family, or you find what works for you, go ahead.
No, you go ahead and finish what you're going to say.
You find what works for you, you build that trust with those customers. It's okay to joke with them, just like what he did in this show. You're gonna find those things out that the customers are worried about even before you get to the pencil. One of the things that I did, and it helped me a lot, when I was filling out the credit app, even before I went and got my first pencil, I would ask the customer one more time, and we've talked about trial closes. I would ask them, hey, does everything make sense here? If all the numbers make sense, can I earn your business on this car today? As I'm filling out the credit app with them. And the majority of the time, they would either say yes or no, and honestly, I was okay if they told me no, because I knew there were some jumps that I had to get through, or some hoops that I had to get through, that it wasn't figured out yet. So I spent more time with them, trying to figure out what the questions were. Then I went and got my pencil. So when the pencil comes back, it's not as scary, right? And then you can work it from there. But, sorry, go ahead.
No, what I was going to say is maybe something you would like to share. We were just involved with, remember, is building trust with the customer, to the point that, remember the Cleggs?
I don't.
So
CX-70?
yes.
I actually worked with her quite a bit. Yeah, she's a great person.
Yes. So when we were working with them, and her husband just absolutely gained a lot of trust in us, and to the point that when he got to the point where he's telling his wife, he goes, you just listen to whatever Debbie says. Whatever Debbie says, that's what you should do. You just do that. To the point that when we were appraising his trade, Wayne came in and told him a price. He goes, no, really, if you just give me this amount, which was considerably lower, do you remember?
Yeah.
And he goes, if you just give me that, and his wife was going, well, no, if they'll give us the $3,000, let's take that. And he goes, no, really. If you'll just give me $1,500, I'll be happy. The guy talked Wayne down. Wayne went in there with an offer of $3,000, and the guy had such trust in us and such value in us. He goes, no, seriously, you just give us $1,500, we'll be happy.
Yeah.
So I feel like if you can build trust to where they love you and they trust you, and I mean the guy, he liked us so much, he said, no, I'll take $1,500. You don't need to give me $3,000 for my car, which was, that was a unique experience.
Yeah.
I get some training out of a couple of different dealerships in Arizona, and one of the biggest things that they keep saying is know before numbers. One of the things that they just keep saying is that if you know everything you need to know before numbers, you're going to get a deal every time. So if they need more for their trade, tell the managers that right off the bat. Say like, give as much as we possibly can for the trade, and they'll take a deal. Then you know that, and that's the way that you close. And so if you know before numbers, every single time you'll have a deal. You just need to know what they need before numbers. If it's a product problem, show them the other products. Like pull it up on your computer and say like, hey, look, this is what you're looking at. You're looking at 10 grand more for a Honda, 10 grand more for a Toyota, or whatever it is. And I think if you just know before numbers, it's really just the easiest close ever because they're already singled down to a Mazda, and you've already done what they've asked you to do at first pencil.
Yeah.
So just an experience that I've learned recently, like in the last month, let's say, is every appraisal I've done, if I've started the process and then halfway through I've then said how much you hoping to get for it, and we're sat down, we're in an environment where they feel closed in, they always do the same thing. It's always like, well, what are you going to offer me? But since I've started doing that, when I go out with them outside and they're out and they're free, and I talk to them really casually, and I just like, well, what was you kind of hoping to get for the car, as I'm doing something, and they're not pressured, I'm not staring at them, I'm not staring down. They openly give me that information, and I've got it every time.
That's awesome.
And it doesn't become awkward whatsoever.
See, this is why I like this, because all three comments, you know, these are stuff that we can pick off of each other and learn. I honestly have never even thought about that.
Yeah.
The last comment that David just made, and I think that's huge. You know, he's right. The customers they're outside. They feel a lot more comfortable, and you can joke with them. Like I said, joking goes a long way, but you got to focus on those hot buttons. And if you're not asking those questions, if you're not finding out, then you're hurting yourself. And so that would be my goal to you, is to try to ask those questions